It's the last lap potentially here, and we've got to see if Nasuru can find a way through. He's getting really aggressive here. He's going down the left-hand side, trying to find a way through. Lights are up, engines are revving, and out they go. There we go. So you can see Jack Noller getting off to a pretty good start here. You can see Nasuru on the right-hand side of Jack, our left-hand side, trying to make a run down here to T1 on the inside, but I think he's going to get there just in time to deny Jack the inside line. In the background, you can see Adrian here is in P4, with Bandit having got a good start for once in the league. Is up to P3. Matt's coming in at P5, and Anthony moving up there to P5, denying Matt's the opportunity. Andrew Shaw and Forrest McCormack in the background at P7 and P8, and DeGreedy in P9. But at the moment, Nasuru is out to a good start to the first lap. Running a little bit defensive there, trying to hold Jack at bay. At the moment, we're going to see if Jack has the grunt in the GTR here to try and get past Nasuru before the end of the first lap. Otherwise, I think we're going to see an overtake on the start-finish line. But here we go. Jack's trying to make the move. Not going to quite get there in time. He's got to be careful with Bandit following so closely behind here that he might be able to sneak in. A little bit of contact between Bandit and Jack Noller there. It hasn't been enough to slow down Noller too much, but that is going to allow Nasuru to get away a little bit more freely and clearly, and that's what Nasuru needs to try and cement his position on the start-finish line. Otherwise, we're going to see Jack slipstreaming all the way. Adrian and Bandit jostling for position. I think Adrian's just got past Matt's, as has Forrest McCormack and Anthony in the background. But Adrian is doing super well here. But here we go. Adrian is now in a little bit of trouble. He's allowed Bandit to get past. I think there was a slight mistake riding a bit too much curb through T1. And Bandit is back through. Adrian going a little bit wide there as well as he gets the two Epson NSXs driven by Forrest McCormack and Anthony. Filling up the rearview mirror there for Adrian. In the background as well, you can see I think 4 Takata NSXs swarming along behind the NSXs here. A little bit of a bump there between Adrian and Forrest McCormack, but nothing too much to worry about. And here we go. He's actually now sandwiched in between the two NSXs almost. A little bit of contact there from Forrest to Adrian. Now a bit of a grouping up as we've got DeGreedy and the Takata NSX in the background jumping in here. Forrest making the switcheroo. It's on the left-hand side of Adrian. But Adrian's flying back in the final corner here to hold on to the inside line. Gets a good run out the exit here, but he's got 2 NSXs now and 3 Takata NSXs right on their tail. As we see the slipstream train making its way down the start-finish line here. And I think Lexus Power is now going to be trying to outrun the NSXs, which it might be able to do because it is quicker than those 2 cars. But he has got to just hold on a bit longer here. Can he ride this down into the T1? There's a bit of a move from Andrew Shaw there, overtaking Greeny. Andrew Shaw actually makes a great move there and gets past 2 of them, but runs a little bit wide. And DeGreedy comes back to take on to P6 with Tay and P7. So Andrew's run was a little bit too short-lived there to make a difference. But Adrian hanging on here for P4 at the moment. And coming through the final couple of corners now, Forrest McCormack is trying to fight his way past Adrian, but hasn't quite managed to make it work yet. Moves on the inside edge here. Adrian giving enough room, so no contact between the two. But that puts Adrian on the inside edge of the final corner. That will slow them down on the exit. Forrest McCormack now taking the quicker exit on the corner. Will probably be able to overtake. But can he get there in time? This is where Lexus Power starts to come into play. And as you can see there, straight line drag speed isn't enough for the NSX to get past the Lexus. And the Lexus top end is enough to secure a slight gap on the run into T1. Which is great to see for Adrian. But if he can just hold on to things there. Oh, look at that. Bandit's been taken out or had a spin in T1. Dropping down to P7. Potentially worse to P8. And Forrest McCormack just can't seem to find a way past Adrian at the moment. He's going to have to try and take another opportunity to take a stab at it on the final corner here. You can see again, he's taking the opportunistic line, getting a really good exit. Adrian not quite quick enough there on the exit of the corner, but here you can see the Lexus now will be getting the toe from the NSX, and he'll be slingshotting around the right hand side in mere moments as he comes now blasting down the straight. And Lexus power is in full effect as he goes to try and shoot for the inside line onto Greeny. We're going to stay here and watch this from Forrest McCormack's point of view, because this is an absolutely glorious move from Adrian as he overtakes not only one, but two NSXs on the way down to T1. And now De Greeny has to sit here and wait as he has to watch the rear end of a Lexus coming through the midsection of the track. So fantastic racing here from Adrian. Considering he's doing this on a controller as well, this is even more impressive. De Greeny and Forrest McCormack are now back behind Adrian, not where they want to be, and you can see Tay and the other Takata NSX now joining the fray. So these guys are going to be battling each other now. That's 3 wide in the background. Coming under the Syndicate Motorsport sign, 2 Takatas and an Epson NSX now trying to keep up with the Lexus here, but at the moment Adrian is just ploughing away. And we've had a incident there involving Forrest McCormack. He's switched around and dropped down to P10. That's terrible news for Forrest McCormack. Here you can see Anthony actually fighting back in the mid-course here, trying to find a way to get up to Greeny and go potentially on the inside. It moves onto the left-hand side, parks it on the inside of the apex and stops Greeny from making that corner work for him in his favour. But there's Greeny with the switchback. Beautifully executed, but I think these guys are going to be too wide on the way down to the hairpin. But Anthony's going to be on the right-hand side of the track, which is where he wants to be. If he can outbrake Greeny, then he can get through. But there we go, he's overcooked it a little bit, and Greeny's through with a nice gap opening up as a result. So here we go, let's go on board with Jack Noller as he's trying to hunt down Nasuru. GTR straight line performance is better than the NSX, and with the slipstream involved here, you can see him closing now on the way down to T1. Jack moving out to the left-hand side here to try and take the best line through the corner he possibly can. Nasuru running defensive. Is it enough to hold Jack at bay? On the run down to the left-hander here, just needs to try and stop Jack from getting his nose on the left-hand side, otherwise he's going to have to go defensive again, but Nasuru doesn't actually go defensive. Jack is 0.6 of a second behind, closing now to almost under 5 tenths as he tries to find a way to get down to T1. Again, Nasuru having to go defensive, Jack trying to find a way to slingshot through the first corner. And Jack does a very good job of getting through T1. Nasuru is going to have to think about how he can keep that defense up in T1. Both drivers are on a little bit wide there. This allows Jack to potentially make a move on the inside here, but is that going to be enough? He's still too far behind, and that's exactly where the NSX will be working its magic there. You can see Jack had to ease off a little bit there to try and retain the car on the track, whereas Nasuru can just keep ploughing through, less weight to worry about, more cornering performance. But it's here on the straights, and Jack getting a great exit from the corners will be enough to keep the pressure on Nasuru here. Nasuru's going to have to work very hard now for the rest of the 13 minutes of the race to try and hold on to this P1 finish. And Bandit did a good exit. He doesn't get a bad exit there, actually, onto the slipstream of Andrew Shaw. Andrew trying to shake him off already. And here he goes, trying to make a move down the start-finish line here. Andrew goes defensive, Bandit goes on the left-hand side, keeping the pressure on Andrew, and he's going to go for the cutback. Now it's a drag race to the next corner, but Andrew's got the inside line, and that's going to cause Bandit to have to stay on the outside. That's actually a bit of contact between the two of them. So here we go, let's go back to the leaders here. Nasuru still in P1. Jack Noller very close behind, coming through the hairpin. Nasuru's got to try and just work his defence here, because Jack is really trying to find any opportunity whatsoever. Any opening at all is all he's asking for. And he is very close behind now. A slight flick of the tail there from Nasuru. That's put him on the wrong side of the corner to where he wants to be. Can he do a cutback onto Nasuru, onto Jack Noller on the start-finish line here? It's now a drag race between these two, where we know that the GTR generally wins this. But they are literally wheel to wheel now, all the way down the start-finish line here. You can see Jack not actually making much ground, and Nasuru's got the inside line here potentially. Nasuru now diving in behind Jack to try and hold on to the slipstream. Both of them going out wide to try and find a good entry, but can Nasuru change the tables here, or turn the table, sorry, by doing the reverse of what Jack's been trying to do. But here we go, Nasuru is now on the back foot. He's got to try and find a way past Jack. Trying to find a way to use the cornering advantage of the NSX here. Let's hope he doesn't get flustered. He's got to try and remain focused if he wants to try and get away past Jack again. So Anthony's got Tay right behind Nepson and a Takata. There's the Greenie in the background. Going wheel to wheel. Tay momentarily getting through. De Greenie now starting to close in. Actually, De Greenie takes the opportunity there to make a move on Tay. So thank you very much, and slips right through. And now De Greenie's up to P5, which is great news for him. Only 2 minutes left on the race clock, so he can hold on to that then. Nasuru and Jack Noller are side by side on the start-finish line here. It was 50 milliseconds between the two of them. And now on for the fight of the race. It's the last lap potentially here. And we've got to see if Nasuru can find a way through. He's getting really aggressive here. He's going down the left-hand side, trying to find a way through. Jack going a little bit wide on the curb there, being almost forced off the track by Nasuru. And Nasuru's not going to give up now. He's just got to try and fight his way back now. Try to get as much speed out of the NSX as possible, going so late on the brakes there, almost making the rear end of Jack Noller's a feature on the front of Nasuru's bonnet there. But Nasuru is really pushing now. He's got one last shot at this. And as they come down to the hairpin, Nasuru is going to be finding every ounce of strength he's got left to try and find a way past. He's got 46 seconds to try and find a way. He's going in the... Oh my god, he's just on the inside edge there. But he's lost it on the... Oh, he's lost it on the exit of the corner. And Jack Noller's back through. Nasuru unable to sneak it down successfully. And I think that's put him back a little bit too far now, potentially, as they round the final corner. Nasuru gave it his best shot, but that isn't going to be enough. And now he's just got to try and fight his way to the start-finish line before Jack Noller, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And that is... Oh, are they going to get to the line? Are they going to get to the line in time to start a new lap? Yes, they did. So we've got one more chance at redemption from Nasuru here. Nasuru's last lap time was a 1:32.780, which puts him on the fastest lap time of the race. He's definitely getting an extra point at this stage. This is going to be so close. That was an absolute god lap from Nasuru. De Greenie losing out there to P6. Actually down to P7. Maybe he's had a bit of a spin. But Nasuru is now trying to hunt down Jack Noller, but he's not going to be able to do it. He's getting closer, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be so tantalizingly close that he is not going to be finishing this race in P1, and Jack just about brings it home on P1 there. But oh, great news for Nasuru, a P2 finish. And Adrian, look at this, P3 for Adrian. That's fantastic. Let's go back to Bandit here, who's trying to shake off Tay as they fight their way to the start-finish line. And Bandit's just going to sneak it almost. Yes, he just grabs it there. And De Greenie comes home in P6. Andrew Shaw in P7. Mats finishing in P8. Forrest McCormack in P9. And Anthony isn't quite getting to the finish line. Has he just run out of fuel? Yes, he's run out of fuel. There's no engine noise at all. So Anthony's run out of fuel on the final... the final straight, not getting to the start-finish line.